Three-time All-Star closer and alleged participant in the dumbest sports gambling scheme ever, Emmanuel Clase, surrendered to FBI agents shortly after landing at JFK Airport yesterday. He denied the allegations, and he did post $600,000 bond. He's free, but he's got a rock and ankle monitor. He can only travel to the states of Ohio and New York. However, those details are not why I bring this up again today. I bring this up again today because of the all-time excuse that Clase is going with. The reason as to why he has all these strange messages to these underground gamblers that definitely seem to coincide exactly with the strange events that transpired on the field. Turns out, according to him, it was all one big misunderstanding. Turns out, these suspicious calls and messages intercepted by the feds had nothing to do with illegal bets on baseball. They were about, wait for it, rooster fighting. That, you heard me right, cockfighting. This is what he says those texts were about. That it's all a big misunderstanding, that it was just misunderstood code language that had nothing to do with betting and everything to do with the cockfighting that he does on the side. Not baseball, cockfighting. Man, of all the idiotic, ludicrous excuses we have ever heard from baseball players, this one is right up there at the very top. We've heard them all, too. We have heard them all. I mean, baseball players come up with the dumbest bleep ever. Rafael Palmeiro cannot believe how full of crap this guy is.
Never. The reference to me in Mr. Canseco's book is absolutely false.
I want to hear Rafi again. He wants about ridiculous. Imagine this guy being on the Hill. Not only saying this to like journos, but on the Hill and wagging his finger at everybody. Go ahead, roll that, Albie.
I have never used steroids, period. I do not know how to say it any more clearly than that. Never. The reference to me in Mr. Canseco's book is absolutely
true.
False.
So you have that. That's right up there with Andy Pettit. And the only thing more unbelievable to me than Andy Pettit going with, the only reason I went with HGH was because I wanted to heal more quickly and get back in the fight and join my teammates. Were all you idiot fans trying to praise the guy? He didn't do anything wrong. He was just trying to recover more quickly from an injury for his teammates. Like, that actually flew back in the day. Idiots, fans. Like, of course, that's the whole point of performance-enhancing drugs. They allow you to recover more quickly. Bigger, stronger, faster, higher. Anyway, that aside, let's get back to the cockfighting excuse. According to Journo, Hector Gomez, Clase, is claiming that, quote, his messages and calls about the rooster play were possibly mistakenly taken, quote, as coded calls related to sports betting. The rooster play? Sounds more like some kind of sex act, right? The rooster play. Why do they call you the, Hey, Alvin, why do they call you the rooster? Anyway, more of a sex act than some sort of scheme related to sports betting. Why would the feds think that rooster play had anything to do with throwing intentional balls to hit prop bets? See, apparently Clase also told a reporter in the Dominican Republic that, quote, look, they understand that when I called to ask Andy how the Roosters had done, that was like a coded call, and I obviously sent him money so he could take care of them, feed the Roosters, and honor other commitments. End of quote. Oh, why didn't you say so in the first place, dude? This wasn't about getting down. This wasn't about getting kickbacks. This wasn't about unscrupulous, unsavory bettors making money off your pitches. This was all about your care and concern for roosters. In other words, you had to honor your commitment to the Roosters. That's why you needed to call shady underground gambling guy in the middle of a Major League Baseball game. Because of roosters? MLB rules say pretty explicitly you're not allowed to use phones during games. You can't, period. But you did. But not for gambling, but because of your concern for your roosters. Dude, you're out there in a day that you're pitching and you're not thinking about the next inning or the next batters. You're thinking about your roosters. You're checking on roosters in the middle of baseball games. Roosters. Not even your sick dog. Not even your sick cat. You're fighting roosters. You're cockfighting roosters. That's what you're doing? That's why you're on the phone, when you know you're not allowed to be on the phone during a game. But you know what, though? I should have known that. I should have seen that a mile away, given that I am the founder of COUGH. Cockfights Across America Foundation. You remember that? That's my foundation. Of course. Everybody shout foundation. I have one. The Cockfights Across America Foundation. It feels so good to give back. It feels so good to make a difference. Janet said when we were on our way up, we're not doing enough. We're not doing enough. And I said, you're right. We're not. There are underprivileged kids. They need help. That have no purpose, that have no mentors, that have nowhere to turn. And inevitably, they will end up in a bad place. They need someplace to come to. They need someplace to rally around. They need a purpose. They need mentors. I have it, Janet. Let's establish a foundation. Yes, Jimmy, I'm so proud of you. Here's what it's going to be. Cockfights Across America. It's not going to be local. It's not going to be regional. It's going to be nationwide. Cockfighting. We bring kids in and we let them bet on the Roosters and also watch the Roosters. That will keep them off the streets. That will keep them out of trouble. We'll call it Cockfights Across America Foundation. See, I, of all people, should have recognized Clase when that's what he went with. My man, why didn't you just say so? I can absolutely find a spot in our organization for you. In fact, Emmanuel, one of the members of our organization, COUGH, will be reaching out to you shortly to see if we can join forces to help our nation's underprivileged children. Here's the problem with that story, my dude. Guess what happened just a few minutes after that 2-minute call with shady gambling guy during live action? Your call about your Roosters' goodwill or health. Shady gambling guy on the phone won 11 grand. Wagering on a pitch that you threw that was slower than 97 mph, which obviously is how that went down. But sure. You were just talking about your Roosters and making sure they had enough to eat on that phone call during a game where that guy made all that money. This guy wants us to believe that he was so concerned about his cockfighting ring that he had to spend 2 minutes on the phone to check on his Roosters during a game. Damn, dude, you must really care about your Roosters. You must care more about your Roosters than you do your baseball team, your job, your career. By the way, your life, because it just cost you a career, your career. Roosters? Fighting roosters? Pretty soon, my guy, you're going to see humans fighting humans in jail. And you'll probably be in the middle of it. You just happen to be on the phone when a guy won 11 grand on a prop bet, but you were checking on your Roosters. Checking on what? That they were getting their workouts in? That they were getting those little razor blades rubber banded to their little feet? The hell were you checking on? That they got enough protein? That the little rooster shanks were sharp enough? Checking on what, dude? I know. I have a foundation. I know what it takes to care for roosters. Hey, Alvy, let me ask you something. In all the years that you've worked with me, have I ever once in the middle of the show called to check in on my roosters? And my roosters serve a good cause. Never.
No.
No one's buying this, Clase.
Clase.
This dude. Meantime, this all happened in April of this year, by the way. This incident happened in the past season. 2 years after initial suspicions had arisen about this guy. 2 years after MLB was made aware of suspicious activity surrounding this guy. As always, good job, good effort, Bob Manford. However, at least there is a silver lining here. At least it gives me a reason to once again, because I don't want to be self-serving about it, but it's such good cause. I haven't even mentioned my foundation in years. How can I give back and help without promoting? But I've always felt kind of guilty promoting on this show something for myself, even though it's the best cause ever. It's been years since I did a promo for COUGH. Cockfighting Across America Foundation. Saving one life, one bloody rooster at a time. Underprivileged children, unsupervised, without mentors, having nowhere to turn, need that lifeline. They need that purpose. That's why we created COUGH. Cockfights Across America Fund. Foundation. It's been so long since I've talked about it, I forgot what it was called. This is no laughing matter. You too can be a part of the solution to a very big problem. Join COUGH. Make the world a better place. Give our nation's misguided, forgotten youth a chance by letting them watch roosters fight to the death. My kids were raised on cockfighting. Yours should be too. And I am not a spectator or a gambler. I am the president and founder. Anyway, so I created this fund and this foundation, I should say, years and years and years ago. And for some reason, the thanks that I got for it, none. It was thankless. Like, people were upset. I'm like, I give back and you're upset? You should see the caller reaction back in the day. I create a foundation that's based on cockfighting to get kids off the streets, to come in, to come together, to mentor. Listen to the sample of calls that I got from this. Look at this guy, Joe in Phoenix back in the day, reacting to my foundation.
I've been listening, just kind of new here, but I just wanted to ask you a question. Now, seems like there has to be better foundations out there than that cockfighting deal. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of bumping around on that website. I didn't see anything up on that yet on your website there, but I just didn't quite understand. I love your show, and
first of all, I respect that, Joe. Give me an idea, because I've been looking for a long, long time, and I just couldn't find anything that I was really passionate about, but somehow that just kind of hit me the right way. I'm open to other ideas. I just don't have any. I mean, what would you recommend?
I mean, there's so many of them out there, Jim. I don't really know. I was just thinking, something in the Humane Society, or anything like that.
So on the one hand, this guy's like, I'm kind of new to your show, but I really like your show, but I just don't get it. I'm just bumping around your website, and I don't see anything on it yet. Oh, you don't see anything on my website? Oh, okay. All right, so he was more kind of bewildered and befuddled, and he just didn't get it. He's like, I don't understand, Jim. Like, you seem like a pretty decent guy, but there are so many other things that are so much better. I'm like, name one, because I can't think of any. And he said, I don't know, maybe go to the Humane Society? I don't know, Jim. So he was confused. This guy was pissed. This guy wanted to fight me. This guy was beside himself. This is Tony in Cleveland, who was not having it.
I haven't been listening all that long, but I can't believe you're talking about this cockfighting stuff. They fight to the death. They don't just fight.
Right.
And don't you think that's disgusting for kids to see?
No, not at all. What's your point?
Ridiculous, I think.
Ridiculous? You're calling
Totally
you're
ridiculous.
calling me wanting to give something back to the community ridiculous.
That should be
How
illegal,
is trying to
number
help
one.
kids ridiculous? Let me ask you that.
You shouldn't even be allowed to talk about that.
How is
Kids
trying?
watching fighting to the death? You're crazy, man.
Tony, I'm not crazy, by the way. What I'm asking you is, how is helping kids ridiculous? If that's ridiculous, then yeah, I'm ridiculous.
That's not helping kids. It's hurting them, Rome. And he shouldn't be talking about it on the radio, man.
Tony, you're a freaking legend. I want to give Tony the Arena Club card. What a legend. That is such an incredible line. You talk about a line that's aged well. Like, I'm going back and forth. He's finally had enough. That's not helping kids. It's hurting them, Rome. And you shouldn't be talking about it on the radio, man. Point of the story is, as utterly absurd as my foundation is, the only thing more absurd than the foundation is people bought it. People believe me. And I was just trying to prove a point. That I want to come up with the most absurd thing I could possibly think of. Say it on the air and see how many people bought it. Not if they would buy it, because I knew. No matter, I could think of the most absurd thing imaginable. For instance, cockfighting as a way to mentor kids. And I knew somebody would buy it. And they did.
Ridiculous, I think.
So, Clase, no one's
Clase.
buying it, bro. It's absurd. Maybe somebody will because Tony did. And Joe and Phoenix did.
That's not helping kids. It's hurting them, Rome.
Is it?
They shouldn't be talking about it on the radio, man.
Man, what a great line. Two things. Number one, Tony, you rule, dude. I love you, man. What a great line. That's not helping kids. It's hurting them, Rome. And you shouldn't be talking about it on the radio, man. And then number two, hey, Emmanuel, good news for you, bro. I don't know how much time you're going to have to do in prison. I know you're going to be out of baseball, period. Good news for you, though. There's always going to be a place for you in cough. We will always have a position for you. It's non-paid, and you're not allowed to gamble. Well, you can gamble on the Roosters.